Every writer wants their story to start with a bang. Children of Men by Alfonso Cuarón starts with a bang. The opening shot of a movie is oftentimes one of the most important shots in the whole film. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, of course, but the opening paragraph is a different story. A good opening should immediately immerse us into the world of the film. They're designed to convey information while also acting as a hook into the story. Maybe it's introducing a character, maybe it's a quote that sums up the themes of the story, maybe it's a convoluted exposition dump set to a video game cutscene, or maybe it's a news broadcast.
Who are literally being eaten alive.
A witness reports.
A news broadcast is a tried and true way of delivering exposition about your world, especially in a dystopia or a sci-fi. It can be very efficient at catching the audience up to speed on all of the differences between this world and our own. However, it can be a bit dry, a bit wordy, some would say the opposite of show don't tell. Children of Men avoids the traps of boring exposition. We hear a news broadcast, but we don't see it. What we see is a coffee shop, a crowd of people all staring at the TV. This is unsettling. The claustrophobic setting and the very normal-looking attire of everyone in the room sells the gravitas of this situation. This could be reminiscent of how people reacted to the death of Princess Diana, or even the news of 9/11.
Down for the day. Many stood numb in disbelief.
These people have all dropped whatever they were doing prior. The news is more important.
Witnesses at the scene say that Diego spat in the face of a fan who asked for an autograph. He was killed in the ensuing brawl. The fan was later beaten to death by the angry crowd. Born in 2009, the son of Marcelo and Silvia Ricardo, a working-class couple from Mendoza, he struggled all his life with the celebrity status thrust upon him as the world's youngest person.
This news broadcast tells us everything we need to know about the world of Children of Men, but it doesn't tell us directly. The death of baby Diego is not a very important plot point in the rest of the story, but it acts as a vehicle to explain the history of this world. The date shown on screen tells us when the film is set. The narration tells us that Diego was the world's youngest person, explaining the cause of this dystopia. Fertility rates dropped to 0, with no one being born in 18 years. Less than a minute into the film, we put all of these dots together. Everyone in the coffee shop is grieving the death of Diego. Everyone except this guy, shuffling through the crowd to actually get his coffee. This juxtaposition immediately tells us what we need to know about our main character, Theo. Whatever may be going on in this world, Theo is apathetic. For everybody else, this is earth-shattering news. For Theo, his day-to-day is more important. This immediately gets us interested in Theo, and asks us questions about his character, about why he doesn't care as much as everybody else. Does he just have that important of a job? Or has he simply been beaten down by the many tragedies of this world? Either way, he still pays attention while he's there. This POV shot situating us firmly within his perspective, and we follow him as he leaves with his coffee. At this point, we get to see the dystopia this story is set in, accompanied by a location card which would be unnecessary if you were paying attention, telling us that we're in London 2027, 2 years from now, I guess. The art direction here is wonderful. A lot of the design here is reminiscent of Blade Runner, with the holographic billboards letting us know that we're still in a capitalist society, and the unusual amount of tuk-tuks driving by letting us know something about the culture of this new London. These sci-fi Blade Runnerisms contrast with the overwhelming Britishness on display. The frame is almost completely grey, with even the bright red London buses being desaturated and clouded by smog. This intentional subversion of the usual sci-fi dystopia aesthetic displays the tone of the story. No amount of holographic neon adverts and multiculturalism can remove the despair of this world. It's still London, I guess. We have plenty of time to absorb all of the visual storytelling in this slow tracking shot as Theo leaves the store. He sets his coffee down and adds some alcohol, once again showing Theo's apathy and the mundanity of all of this from his perspective. Then, With the explosion, we are ripped from Theo's perspective to instead focus on this woman holding the arm of somebody who's just died. This represents how Theo's life is unavoidably intertwined with the suffering of this world, leaving the perspective of this politically apathetic man to focus on a victim of a gruesome terrorist attack. It shows how everyone is affected by politics, how nihilism doesn't protect you from the horrors of the world, how the violence in one place of the world far away will inevitably make its way back to you. It tells us to not be like Theo.